Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 11 p.m.
Breaking news, Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation could be in jeopardy. Another accuser has stepped forward with sexual misconduct allegations against him.
The woman's story is the focus of a new article posted by the New Yorker magazine just hours ago.
CBS 2's Lori Perez joins us with details. Lori.
Well, these hearings have already been tense. There is no doubt this will make things even more emotional. The New Yorker article details allegations from a woman who says Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when the two were classmates at Yale in the early 80s. Deborah Ramirez told the New Yorker she and Brett Kavanaugh were freshmen at Yale at the time of the alleged incident, that they were part of a group playing drinking games at a dorm party when she says he exposed himself, thrust his private part in her face, and forced her to touch it in order to push him away. She says she remembers he was laughing as he pulled up his pants and recalls someone yelling, "Brett Kavanaugh just put his private part in Debbie's face." She says it was his full name. "I don't think it was just Brett." The New Yorker also spoke to Kavanaugh's roommate at the time, who said, "Is it believable that she was alone with a wolfy group of guys who thought it was funny to sexually torment a girl like Debbie? Yeah, definitely. Is it believable that Kavanaugh was one of them? Yes." Judge Kavanaugh denies the Ramirez accusation and called it a smear, plain and simple. It is his second denial, this allegation coming as the Senate Judiciary Committee readies to hear from Christine Blasey Ford on Thursday. She's the California professor who says Kavanaugh put his hand over her mouth and groped her at a high school party. Kavanaugh says he can produce calendars from his high school years that he says will back up his denial of the assault on Ford. But late Sunday, California Senator Dianne Feinstein sent a letter to the committee chair asking for a postponement of any further Kavanaugh proceedings and that both allegations be sent to the FBI for investigation. Kavanaugh's supporters have said they would use Ford's testimony as part of their overall considerations, weighing it against a lack of other evidence.
I will do the following. Listen to Dr. Ford, compare that to everything in the record, and make a decision. This accusation is 36 years old.
The White House issued a statement saying this latest allegation is designed to tear down a good man. Meanwhile, attorney Michael Avenatti, who represents Stormy Daniels in her lawsuit against the president, says he has a client, not Deborah Ramirez, with credible information about Judge Kavanaugh. Information that appears to connect Kavanaugh to allegations of sexual misconduct so graphic, we will not share them with you on TV. Back to you.
Thank you, Lori. Expect lots more reaction tomorrow. Stay with CBS 2 News for continuing coverage of Brett Kavanaugh's nomination hearing to the U.S. Supreme Court.
And the legal battle continues between porn star Stormy Daniels and President Trump. Tomorrow, attorneys for both sides will return to an L.A. federal courtroom. At issue is whether a non-disclosure agreement between the adult movie actress and the president will be enforced. The agreement was signed just before the 2016 presidential election, and it required Daniels to stay silent about her sexual encounter with Trump.
A near-deadly stabbing at a Metrolink station in Riverside. Tonight, police are still searching for the attacker.
CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen is live in Riverside with the late details. Jeff.
Peter and Suzanne, the victim, was dropped off here at this parking lot before he made his way over to that platform right there. And that is where police say the suspect approached him and stabbed him in the neck, and it was all caught on camera. Police want you to take a good look at the man in this security video following a bloody attack. He's accused of stabbing 69-year-old Albert Lee in the neck.
He's a dear friend, and he means everything to me.
It happened just after 8 this morning at the Metro station in downtown Riverside. Katrina Marley says she had driven her friend here.
I was getting out the car, and then when I seen him running, and then I said, what's going on? Seen him running and everything, and then he said, when I got over there, I seen the blood.
This is video of Mr. Lee walking back to his friend's car after the stabbing. You can see him holding his neck. Police say Lee and the suspect exchanged a few words on the train platform.
We don't know why this happened. Everything is looking as this was completely unprovoked.
Here's a better look at the suspect. He's about 25 to 30 years old with short hair. He was wearing a red shirt, jean shorts, and he had a backpack. He was last seen running north on the train tracks. Investigators brought in bloodhounds, but they weren't able to find him.
I am so upset, and I just can't believe it.
Police say the attack was captured on video, but it's too graphic to share. That is why they've released what happened before and after the stabbing, so that someone will turn in this man if they recognize him.
I want to make sure that everybody, when you're out in public, pay attention, because you don't know what might happen.
Police believe that the suspect is homeless. In the meantime, Mr. Lee is in critical but stable condition. Live in Riverside, Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
Oh my God, they gotta get some water on this.
Scary moments for CBS News photographer Carlos Cortez when he heard an explosion and saw flames shooting up from the building next door to his Valley Village apartment. Those flames right outside his daughter's bedroom window. Firefighters quickly put out the fire and no one was injured, but there was a great deal of damage to the building.
Police have cleared the suspect who was arrested for attacking an off-duty officer in Placentia Saturday. So tonight, his attacker remains on the loose. Investigators say the Fullerton officer was grabbed from behind and stabbed repeatedly yesterday. The officer is expected to make a full recovery.
Only on two homeowners in 2 local cities say they captured the same guy dropping off packages at their houses, then walking away with other deliveries. CBS 2's Chris Holmstrom is live in Gardena, where he spoke with the theft victims. Chris.
Yeah, that's right. In both of these cases, the man acted as a delivery person, but it was what was caught on camera that tells a different story.
I see a Mercedes Sprinter driving up my driveway.
That's when Jane got a notification on her phone, so she opened the app and started watching.
I noticed that he was holding an Amazon package, so I realized that, okay, he's delivering a package to me.
The delivery guy then proceeds around the corner, but if you look closely, he's not carrying the same package he came with. This one, a UPS package. The driver then took off. Jane filed the police report with Gardena Police and called Amazon and posted the video on Nextdoor to warn her neighbors.
You know, a day later, I get a private message from one of our neighbors in Torrance telling me that the same thing happened to him.
That neighbor is Joe. He shared with us his video.
While the postal guy is still there, the Amazon delivery guy comes up behind him, he kind of talks to the postal guy, drops his package, they both walk away.
Then, about 40 seconds later, he goes back to the door.
On the ring, you can see him walking up with another package, like he's going to deliver it. See him go down, pick up the other package, and you can see it clearly it's gone.
Joe immediately called Amazon, and just today, he got this email.
I'm extremely sorry that your package was stolen by Amazon Logistics driver.
It goes on to say a formal complaint has been registered against this delivery person. Rest assured, it'll be handled accordingly.
It caught me off guard, so I'm sure people are not aware that, you know, the people who are delivering your packages could also be taking your packages.
And I also reached out to Amazon. They tell me they are investigating both of these cases. Reporting live from Gardena, I'm Chris Holmstrom, CBS 2 News.
All right, Chris, thanks. A tragic crash. A birthday girl riding a horse during her party hit by a car. A BMW hit the horse that she was riding on last night in Markham Street in Mead Valley. That's southwest of Moreno Valley. The horse was killed. The teenager was thrown and taken to the hospital along with the driver.
Everything was normal. You just heard a loud thump. It's like boom. It was as if something ran into a car.
Miraculously, the girl only suffered minor injuries. The CHP says the driver will be arrested for DUI.
A woman in her 90s was among 2 people killed in a house fire in Garden Grove. Investigators confirmed the home did not have any working smoke detectors. The Garden Grove Fire Department said a woman was found in the back of the home and an unidentified man was found near the front door.
Tonight, crews are still working to contain the Charlie fire in Castaic. 1 firefighter was hurt today. So far, more than 3,300 acres have burned, and the fire is only 20% contained. San Francisco Canyon Road is expected to reopen in the morning.
Bill Cosby's sentencing hearing begins in the morning.
I pray it's 30 years. He deserves every year.
Coming up next, hear what else Cosby accusers are saying tonight.
Plus, fighting back, a woman who says a man groped her chases him down.
And risking your life for Instagram likes? Dangerous stunts keep rescuers busy around Southern California. Amber.
And a live look with our Santa Monica Pier camera. Low clouds and fog moving in. I'll have your work week forecast on the way.